It was Monday night, and my wife, Sandy, and I were sitting at the kitchen table. She had made a simple dish, adding fried cauliflower cheese to a boiling skillet. It smelled good, especially with pickles on the side and leftover roast beef from last night. She also brought me a pint of my favorite beer. I figured having a strong beer on a work night was okay. I've known Sandy for about 14 years, but now something's come up that I probably won't like. She told me that on Friday night, she's going out to dinner with a guy from work. Before you get any ideas, she said it's just dinner and nothing more. I wasn't expecting this, and I didn't like it. On the outside, I acted calm, but inside, I was really upset. I want some excitement for myself, because things have gotten a bit boring. I think I see where this is going. So now it's my fault that things have gotten a little routine. You didn't say that when I took you to the Red Lion for dinner and dancing on Saturday last week, or on Friday when we won the pub quiz. On the contrary, you were over the moon about the bottle of champagne we won that night. That was us. I want something for myself. And believe me, there's no sex involved. It's just dinner. So, who is this guy? And when did you and he decide to do this? It's Jonathan. He's been asking me for weeks, but I've always turned him down. Tonight he asked again and insisted it was just dinner. No sex, he promised. So I said yes. I kind of guessed it was new boyfriend Jonathan. A few months prior, she had brought him up a few times, but after that, she stopped. One day, realizing she hadn't brought lunch, I dropped by her office and spotted him. When does ingratiating stuff happen? That's just what it was. And in the city, we've had a few meetings. It's your choice, but I don't want you to leave. I need to warn you, though. I don't trust him, and I don't believe you about there being no sex. Remember, I saw him. The next 2 days were really tense at home. On Wednesday, she came home late with a bag from the supermarket, but I noticed 2 more handles sticking out of it. She was hiding one bag inside the other, which made me worried. While she cooked dinner, I went to take a shower and took a quick look in the back corner of her closet. I found another bag with a sexy blue satin dress and a new pair of stockings. I couldn't take it out without giving away what I'd found. Well, what if it was a surprise for me? Doubtful, of course. Thursday, I left the house at the usual time, but called in sick to work. I had a lot to do. Thursday night was freezing. She told me that they would be leaving early on Friday, so by the time I got home from work, she would probably be gone. She probably didn't want me to see her wearing her new dress. I didn't see that coming. I had to give my planned speech early. Where are you going on your date? I'm not telling you. If I do, you'll just show up and ruin it. You need to think about what you're doing. Going on a date with another man instead of your husband. If you leave, I'll throw you out. She looked shocked. You won't do that. You love me. I do love you. But do you want to test that? She looked down. I guess your company has a morality policy. I'll find out. You don't want to risk that. I could get fired. Do you want to take that chance? I finished my speech. If you go out with him, I won't be here when you get back. Whether there's sex or not, I think that bothered her. She had been warned. That night, it was even colder in bed. I left for work early to avoid her in the morning, but I got home early. Her car was in the driveway. I went inside quietly and waited 15 minutes after her shower stopped before going upstairs to our bedroom. She was standing there in a satin dress. She looked stunning. That's why you're leaving early. You don't want me to see the new dress. I picked up the empty stocking package on the bed. She looked embarrassed. So you're not going to have sex with him, but you're going out looking like a first-class escort. I was tempted to use the word prostitute or whore, but for now that would probably be overkill. Until she was out the door, there was still a chance. When we went dancing at the Red Lion, I wore a blouse, skirt, and tights. I didn't have stockings, but Jonathan bought them. And you bought him a new dress. Who paid for that? I did. With money from our joint account? Yeah, of course you did. I did. No, you didn't pay for it, we did. And since I put most of the money into that account, now you're using my money to dress up for your boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. Then why are you dating him? I want something different, something exciting. The doorbell rang. I went downstairs, and she followed me. It was Jonathan, and he looked surprised to see me. Now that we were at a standstill, I gave her a choice. If you step out that door, we're done. No, that won't happen. You love me. Do you want to take that chance? Jonathan smiled at her, held out his hand, and said, Sandy, it's time to go. That seemed to help her decide. She walked out the door. I squeezed past them. Sandra. She looked at me. I pulled an envelope of divorce papers from my pocket, took off my wedding ring, put it inside the envelope, and sealed it. I held out the envelope to her, but she didn't take it. Jonathan still had his hand out, so I gave it to him. I looked at him and said, "When you're done, give it to her." I walked to the side of the house and picked up the for sale sign that had been there since I called the estate agents. I attached it to a post by the fence. Sandra stood there with her mouth open, leaning against the door. I walked past her back inside, grabbed my backpack and a large suitcase, and tossed them into the back seat of my Mondeo. I turned to Sandy and said, "I'll be back tomorrow to get the rest of my stuff. Make sure he's not here." Pointing at Jonathan, she collapsed on the floor, flooding with tears. "Now you can date and sleep with whoever you want. You can't talk to her like that." Jonathan pushed me. So cute. I was glad the cameras were recording everything. I stepped forward and kicked him in the stomach with my knee as hard as I could. He fell over and started to vomit. Sandra was lying on the floor, crying and looking up at me. "Don't mess with me. I'll see you tomorrow." I drove to my parents' house, and they were waiting for me. On Saturday, I went back to get more of my things. Jonathan wasn't there. She begged me to stay. I told her that if she was going out with co-workers dressed like that, it showed she didn't respect me, and it was only a matter of time before she got lost. I wasn't going to wait for that to happen. Since I had a good offer on a house, I said I would help her find a place to live. She would get half. Without looking back, I packed up everything I wanted and left for my new life. Second story. I recently started training for a marathon. My boyfriend immediately thought it was because one of his friends runs marathons. Now, whenever I go for a run, he suspects I'm cheating. If I watch something on TV, he thinks I want to sleep with the person on screen. If I put on makeup, he assumes it's to impress someone else. He's always worried I'm interested in one of his friends. Not long ago, a coworker invited me to the racetrack because I mentioned my marathon training. I didn't reply or go, but my boyfriend still thinks I'm cheating or interested in that coworker. His jealousy feels extreme. I can't go out with my girlfriends or go on vacation with them. He thinks anything involving another man is off limits. Yesterday, he went through my phone and got really upset when he saw I was chatting with my stepsister's ex. He's known him for years and has been part of family outings. Now my boyfriend says I cheated just for talking to him. I feel trapped and am really at my wit's end. What can I do before making a final decision? On top of everything, he frustrates me in other ways, his aggressive behavior, and always being short on money and expecting me to help. He struggles with basic tasks, and I often feel like I have to take care of him like a mother. He's 30 and hasn't accomplished much, and things never change no matter how much I bring it up. When I think about it this way, it seems obvious I should leave him. But he has good qualities too. He can be sweet and affectionate, and we have fun when we go out or travel together. Those positive aspects keep me from leaving.